Today, Bitcoin climbs to start the week. Justin Sun's Tron is looking to go public as his U.S. legal battles fade away. And CFTC Commissioner Pham discusses her expectations for the crypto rules facing a vote in Congress. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Brandon Gomez. Digital currencies bouncing back from last week's losses as we kick off the week. At noon Eastern, Bitcoin rose to the $107,000 level, Ether climbed to $26.33, and Solana rose to $156. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Tron, the blockchain giant founded by crypto billionaire Justin Sun, is looking to go public on U.S. markets. According to a Monday press release, SRM Entertainment, a NASDAQ-listed merchandise company that provides products for brands like Disney and Universal, announced $100 million in funding from an unnamed investor. That money will go toward buying and holding Tron tokens. The company will then rebrand to Tron Inc., and Sun will join the company's advisory board. The deal was arranged by Dominari Securities, an investment bank whose parent company recently added Eric Trump and Don Jr. to its advisory board. Justin Sun previously faced a civil fraud case from the SEC under Gary Gensler. Back in February, just after President Trump took office, the regulator looked to resolve the case with Sun. You can read more about SRM's pivot to Tron over at CNBC.com. Next, the Senate's stablecoin bill could face a full vote in the upper chamber this week. According to a schedule sent out by Senate Democrats, lawmakers will vote on the passage of the Genius Act on Tuesday, at a time determined by the Senate's Republican Majority Leader and Democratic Minority Leader. The bill has been revised after facing pushback from Senate Democrats, who argued it had inadequate safeguards for consumers and financial markets. At the same time, some credit unions pushed back on amendments to the bill proposed by Republicans, one that would mandate third-party payment networks for retailers, and another that would cap credit card interest rates. All right, let's stick with regulation for our main story. At Coinbase's State of Crypto Summit in New York last week, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke with CFTC Commissioner Pham about the agency's approach to crypto regulation under President Trump and her expectations for the rules for digital assets being considered in Congress.
Thank you so much for joining me on Crypto World today. I want to talk about the CFTC, of course. For so long during your time with this agency, it really has been the SEC show, it feels like, and we've seen the CFTC sort of fight for more dominance as it relates to crypto regulation. Do you feel, like you're leaving this agency better than you found it?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited that the CFTC has gotten back to winning in this administration. And in just 100 days under my leadership, we've done so much. We've ended regulation by enforcement. We've stopped the war on crypto. We rescinded 2 different advisories that unfairly penalized crypto as an asset class and treated it differently from all other asset classes like FX or rates, credit, commodities. There's no reason for that now, especially as you see the depth of liquidity in the crypto spot markets and how tight the pricing has become. So those were critical and important things that we took on. We also addressed these other issues that became problems for the broader derivatives markets, but again, we're unfairly penalizing crypto. So for example, we just recently provided an advisory to clarify who's a US person, and therefore who's subject to our enforcement actions, and this has been used to unfairly target crypto. But with our clarity, we said, indeed, if you're a non-US person, you're outside the United States, you're legally organized outside the United States, you don't magically become a US person because of all these different, off-the-wall theories that we had put forward in our regulation by crypto enforcement cases. So all of that is fantastic. Besides that, I've been really proud that I've been able to use my management experience as a global bank executive to bring efficiency to the CFTC, which is a huge priority for the administration. We've saved almost $50 million in just 4 months. We've made critical investments in our technology that's necessary for us to be a true 21st century regulator to take on our expanded jurisdiction and mission, hopefully, with crypto. And we've created an annual performance plan that's been updated for the first time in 8 years. We've created KPIs for the first time that actually measure how efficiently we're doing our jobs and making sure that we're delivering true value for the American taxpayer.
Where does the CFTC go from here? We're all paying attention to the Clarity Act, which kind of lays out the role of the CFTC versus the SEC. Do you think that what that language lays out goes far enough?
This Clarity Act is very exciting. It's really exciting because it finally shows that the CFTC is the appropriate regulator for spot crypto asset markets. And the thing is that we've been here. You were talking about it being the SEC show. It's not the SEC show. It's been the CFTC show. The CFTC was the first regulator in 2015 that said Bitcoin is a commodity. And we did that through an enforcement action. But again, it really showed that just like anything else that has a store of value that people think is worth something, that's a commodity that gets traded in our markets. I actually started working on Bitcoin and whether or not it was a commodity in 2013 when I was staff at the agency. I'm really proud of the fact that I'm back at the agency the fourth time as a commissioner and now as acting chairman. And so I'm really excited for what's going to be next for the CFTC with the Clarity Act and with Brian Quintenz coming in hopefully very soon as the permanent chairman.
How do you view regulatory headwinds from here? We were kind of just talking about this off camera, but it feels like there are none. It feels like they are tailwinds and, under this new administration, and perhaps they are, but it does not feel like the industry is kind of running free yet. Are there any speed bumps that you see still in the way that would allow the industry to sort of unleash itself?
So this administration has been so clear about delivering results and delivering on its promises, right? The president has made very clear that America is going to be the crypto capital of the world, and for the first time ever under this unified and strong leadership with the president's working group on digital asset markets, with the president's executive orders, you have everybody working together. And I think that's why people see these as tailwinds, because everyone's working together and rowing in the same direction, unified in this mission to make America the most competitive and the most best in this new asset class and in this new technology. As far as issues or speed bumps or whatever else you want to call it, the rules have not changed. You cannot lie, you cannot cheat, you cannot steal, and so the CFTC has continued to be aggressive in pursuing digital asset fraud, just as we pursue all other kinds of fraud, Ponzi schemes, and other kinds of bad actors in our markets. We just recently announced that we got a judgment of, I think, over $25 million against a fraudster in digital assets, and so both agencies are going to be very clear about pursuing fraud and wrongdoers and people who are seeking to take advantage of victims.
A couple of open seats on the agency. As it relates to crypto regulation, what is sort of your advice for incoming members?
Well, Brian Quintenz has already been a commissioner at the CFTC, so I don't think I would deign to give him advice. But look, I feel really excited about the fact that the CFTC had been in this crypto winter for years. And it needed some spring cleaning, which we've done. We've really turned the agency around, made it stronger, we've made it simpler, we've made it more focused on its mission going forward, and that's going to set up the agency for success wherever the new leadership and the new direction goes.
Sounds like you're optimistic about the direction that this industry is going in. If there is one thing that the agency needs to ensure in the coming months, what would that be?
I think the industry, and they've been doing a really good job of this, and I think Washington is finally in the right frame of mind to be listening to the education and the outreach. Continue to educate, continue to talk to people about the technology and the benefits of the technology. And just like, when we went in our securities markets from paper stock certificates to electronic screens and trading on computers, that was a natural evolution, and it was a huge, tremendous benefit to our markets. That's why we have the best, strongest, most liquid, and deepest capital markets in the world. That's the engine of growth for this economy, for American companies, and for American savers who are able to take their 401ks and see that job security turn into an economic security for their lifetime. So we have been doing so many things right, but we've been doing it right because we've been open to technology and not unfairly penalizing a specific type of technology. Why would we do that and foreclose the future?
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. We're back again tomorrow. We'll see you then.